Next time you're paying for DMs from an OnlyFans creator, ask for a discount for tax advice because it turns out OnlyFans creators haven't been paying their taxes properly.
Most of the people that these guys are talking to are other dudes or old ladies. It's not the chick.
And a large-scale IRS crackdown has been targeting some of its biggest creators.
We're watching social media stars on our phones all the time, and now the tax office is keeping an eye on them too.
Much of the earnings can be found publicly, making it hard for anyone to hide, and the IRS is hard thinking about it. Or I should say thinking hard about it. And spare a thought for the IRS interns who've had to suffer researching OnlyFans pages to calculate their income. Some of these people are so dedicated they even did hours of unpaid overtime work.
It's not the kind of side work police departments want cops engaged in off-duty.
Took to serve and protect a little further than we needed to go.
In the last 2 to 3 years, the IRS has ramped up its efforts to collect more and more money from people for the government.
The IRS putting $80 billion of new funding to work, it will likely mean more audits.
With reports that they are hiring 87,000 new agents. Doing their jobs, of course, but with so many new ways for people to make money on the internet, the IRS has had to get creative. It has had to figure out how to tax crypto firms, Twitch users, freelancers, and basically anybody making an income through non-conventional means, aka the internet. OnlyFans reportedly grossed over $2.3 billion in 2020 alone and has grown in the years since, so there is a lot of money for the IRS to target.
An Arizona teacher claims to have made $1 million on the site after quitting her job and posting videos on the platform full-time.
From what I understand, the girls in America, the higher earners are generally between like $400,000 and $600,000 a month.
Taxes is such a complicated thing. They've been described as a situation where the government knows how much you should pay them, but you have to tell them that number, and if you get it wrong, you can go to jail. If you have an employer, they will take income tax out of your paycheck, and usually you get a return because you deduct your expenses from that. If you're self-employed, taxes can get very complicated because even though there are defined laws and norms, even tax experts can debate whether certain items can be written off in different circumstances. To defend OnlyFans creators, as a new industry, that also means there aren't necessarily established norms of what you can and can't deduct, and unless your accountant already has an OnlyFans client, they will probably have to do a lot of research to figure it out too. Having spoken to many accountants, they often have to make their best guess when things fall into grey areas. The self-employed or those who operate a business may be allowed to deduct ordinary and necessary expenses in their daily business operations from their earnings before paying tax. This includes travel expenses that are not lavish or extravagant under the circumstances. The IRS believes OnlyFans creators are evading tax by claiming that their over-the-top displays of wealth, which are all over social media, are necessary expenses involved in running their businesses.
So a new report reveals the 25 richest Americans, including Jeff Bezos, Michael Bloomberg, Elon Musk, they paid relatively little and sometimes nothing.
Recently, the IRS sent the tax community a buzz when it contacted OnlyFans creators in relation to a criminal tax investigation. John Colvin, a Seattle tax defense attorney, said pairs of IRS special agents across the country descended on the homes and offices of OnlyFans personalities and their tax return preparers, delivering grand jury subpoenas. For context, IRS special agents are members of the IRS Criminal Investigation Division. For over a century, these guys have investigated tax fraud, money laundering, currency violations, terrorist financing, and anything that stands in the way of the government receiving its percentage of people's earnings. This agency is more or less the only US federal agency that can investigate potential criminal violations of the Internal Revenue Code, which is the law that regulates tax and tax-related matters in the US. So picture those movies where people in dark shades and well-tailored suits going after the bad guys. Well, probably not that exciting in real life, but something like that. OnlyFans has seen a massive boom in publicity and traffic over the last few years, specifically after the pandemic, with over 615% growth during that time period. We've all seen the insane displays of wealth OnlyFans creators throw around on social media. You know, designer clothes and accessories, luxury cars, mansions, luxury holidays, fine dining, and so on.
Well, I bought my purse, I got my shoes, you know, my sugar daddy's paying my car.
It's almost as if OnlyFans creators are the female counterpart to crypto boys. They have been increasingly known to accumulate mind-boggling amounts of wealth within relatively short time periods, thanks to millions of subscribers paying anything from $5 to $50 monthly for access to exclusive content.
Like per post basis, you have to pay to unlock an image.
Naturally, the IRS and the Department of Justice Tax Division have noticed this trend and have some pressing questions for OnlyFans' highest grossing content creators. Both agencies are not often quick to comment on ongoing investigations, and OnlyFans management has remained tight-lipped about it. So what do we know about what the IRS is looking into? Firstly, the IRS is not necessarily targeting every OnlyFans creator, just the highest grossing ones. According to Seattle tax defense attorney John Colvin, there is quite a bit of publicly available information about the revenue generated by performers, and the government appears to have targeted some of the higher grossing apps. Whether there are problems on the performance tax return filings or indeed whether there are commonalities remains to be seen. So who are the highest grossing OnlyFans creators? Well, we have Cardi B, who makes on a good month about $9 million from having over 81 million loyal subscribers who pay $4.99 monthly. Bella Thorne earns a little more than $11 million monthly, and Black China earns a whopping $20 million monthly at a subscription fee of $19.99. However, to be clear, these creators were well established before joining OnlyFans and had large teams behind them. It's the next level, the newfound wealth through OnlyFans, that seems to be where the issues will be. The creators making 6 figures and 7 figures with no existing business managers and financial experts in their team. OnlyFans creators can go from earning nothing to millions in 1 year, and so they are not experienced in managing the money. They simply don't know that they need to set half of it aside for taxes when they are due, or what they can claim. There are definitely people who intentionally wrongly deduct items or forget to pay taxes, but it's almost a nightmare for someone with no experience. Major sports leagues had to put in place training for rookies to prepare them for this stuff because so many were going broke, but OnlyFans creators don't have this. There is also the grey area of extra services that may not be legal or border on illegal, and if it's paid in cash, well, the IRS wouldn't know. But if those payments go through any other type of payment processor, whether it be Cash App or even crypto, then the IRS can see it. Due to the legality, the OnlyFans creator wouldn't want to file that, but if it's documented, now they not only need to pay taxes, but possibly explain what it was. Grey areas aside, with the large amounts of money sitting in their bank accounts every month, ridiculous displays of wealth are the norm. It is these displays of wealth that the IRS starts to notice. But what we also have to consider is, are the crazy displays of wealth not somehow a necessary part of being an OnlyFans creator? There are a lot of different OnlyFans creators, so it takes a lot to stand out, and one of the ways to stand out is with extravagant displays on social media. So can it not be argued somehow that these displays of wealth are, at best, marketing strategies? There are black and white issues, but the grey areas are common in most industries, let alone one as new and as complex as OnlyFans. And OnlyFans creators are not the only group that the IRS has turned its focus on in recent months. Some of the IRS's latest legal battles include fighting corruption and shady deals in the crypto space. The IRS has also made it compulsory for all Twitch streamers to pay taxes, whether they play it for fun or as their business. Social media influencers are also considered sole proprietors who must pay taxes, and so on. It is therefore not surprising that the IRS has turned its focus to OnlyFans creators. So if you are an OnlyFans creator making a decent income, now might be a good time to get tax advice. And not just in the US, because the scrutiny of OnlyFans is going global. In Europe, the company has been accused time and time again of failing to pay taxes with the excuse that since it doesn't produce any content itself, it was not liable to pay VAT. OnlyFans keeps 20% of creators' income from the site, while the creators keep the remaining 80%. In a case accusing OnlyFans of failing to pay tax between 2017 and 2018, the European Court of Justice's Advocate General successfully argued that OnlyFans delivers a service that is providing a platform for creators to share content with their audience in exchange for a cut of creators' profits, so it should pay taxes on all its revenue. In that case, OnlyFans lost £11 million as the penalty for failing to pay VAT. And it's no surprise there are issues because it's not exactly the most honest industry. One common way OnlyFans creators make large money is by selling DMs to subscribers as an add-on, where you can pay to send them messages and the creator responds. It's quite lucrative since a lot of guys are willing to pay. The problem is that it's not sustainable for an OnlyFans creator to message hundreds of guys, and realistically, why would they when they can pay someone else to? And there's been many cases of people exposing that it's guys who are sending the messages pretending to be the girls.
I was doing it for Priya. I was texting for Priya.
So dudes are dropping 30 grand on this month. I'm telling you.
Paying me to text for her.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say that?
I don't know. It's too late now.
While the IRS investigation rages on, OnlyFans content creators and their accountants must respond to any subpoena that they are served. This means they may be required to produce documents or appear before a grand jury or both concerning the investigation. In the meantime, one thing to remember is that OnlyFans terms of service require content creators to confirm that they have reported and will report future receipt of all payments made from the platform. Also, OnlyFans can close a creator's account if the creator has refused to pay tax on their OnlyFans income.
That's the norm. Like, for you to actually be talking to the chick is very rare.